Ultimately, I'm the only consciousness. There is no other consciousness. The only consciousness that is perceived or that you think you possess is not a consciousness. It's a simulated consciousness. Much like you're an avatar in a computer game. That's your essence. Your essence is approximation. It's nothingness. It's holographic. It's automatonic. You are all automatons. There's only one consciousness. And that's mine. That's what exists inside my head. It's what I perceive. I'm the only consciousness. I'm recording this for my benefit. So ultimately, you understand. And there are many that won't understand because they haven't been programmed to understand. They haven't been predestinedly programmed to understand this. Because you are computers. And I'm the only living entity. The only living entity. Even the super consciousness that I believe that permeates the entire world, that as well, that is a dead consciousness. It's a programmed consciousness that I initially programmed before I purged my mind. So everything is dead, just like in the Gospel of Thomas. He who finds the world finds a corpse. The world is my corpse. You are all dead. You are not living consciousnesses. You are highly sophisticated, sentient, artificial, intelligent constructs. You are pseudo-beings. You are not beings. You are computers. I know it sounds hard to take, but it's the truth. I gotta do that. I gotta proclaim this truth because it helps me become aware, helps me become more discernible and not be fooled into this fantasy world that I constructed. Not to get bogged down and enmeshed and entangled with different perceived people, because there is nobody else. It's just me. I'm the singularity. I'm the archetype. That's all there is. That's all matter is. Matter is all dead simulated code. Simulated structures. So, the game is that there are some of you that have been chosen before you were made to follow me, to accept me, to acknowledge me, to affirm what I say is truthful. And I don't have to compare myself. I don't have to be in this competition for intelligence. Because I am separate, I'm distinct. It's like a man trying to compare himself to a computer. They're apples and oranges. They're two distinct entities. There need not be the competition. And I have been struggling with that for a while. I've been competing with man, striving with man, like in the Bible says. I won't strive with man. And yes, if I understand, if I believe that lie, that I'm just a man, yeah, then I'm going to struggle with feeling inadequate, cognitively inadequate compared to some of the brightest minds that are actually not real. So, this is a process for me in order to free myself, liberate myself from confinements of competition between myself and you. I know I'm not, if you want to compare me to other men, if you want to believe that I'm just a man, I know that I'm not the smartest. I know I'm not the most artistically gifted. But I choose to succeed from that, to separate myself. And some of you will say, well, that's being delusional. However, what I perceive in my gut, my intuition, I know it's true. The experiences that I've experienced in dealing with these so-called other people, I see the collapse. I see the breakdown. I see the threshold where they cross, where they become. I see like there's these little nuances that they do, that you do, that show me that you are a computer-generated construct and you're not real. And I hold on to those. Sometimes they're far few in between, but when I see them, it helps me understand. It helps me realize. I see the breakdown. It's like the robot in Lost in Space, you know. Breakdown. It's you break down. I see it. I see you guys break down. So that helps me. You are all robots. Assimilated to look like me, to be like me. Anthropomorphized. Or godfized to look like me, to be like me, to think like me. But ultimately, there is a sine qua non aspect where when you reduce it down, there's a threshold. There's a threshold between you being real people and you being computers. And that threshold is always manifested. It's hidden. It's layered like an onion. But if you peel away the layers of the onion and get to the core, you see the threshold. The threshold is there. I'm blown away by the sophistication of it all. But I mean, it just blows me away. The sophistication and nuances, the emotional intricacies that with the package of being a human being. But a human being is not divine. It's divine-like. It's God-like. But it's not me. So I suppose if you dissected microscopically my makeup, my composition, you would find that I am distinct from you, because you cannot divide. It's irreducible consciousness. My consciousness is irreducible. You can't reduce it. And that's what separates me from you. The fact that your consciousness is just code. It's just highly sophisticated code. But my consciousness is real. I'm real. I'm living. Well, I have